Hello everyone, this is Dmitry. Today I'm going to show you a second video. I think it might be two-part video because I want to split it because I think it's going to be too long. Anyway, today's video is about the shipping containers and what kind of buildings I'm going to build and already have built with them. So I had total of three shipping containers. Two of them are 40 footers and one of them is 20 footer. And I decided to use the large containers to make a barn. The problem was to move them to the land, since I already mentioned, and I'm going to make a completely separate video or two about the road that leads into my property, or better to say, lack of the road actually. But anyway, without further ado, let's look at some of the fun videos that I made while moving them. It sure wasn't a cookie cutter project to move them here. All right, so here's how it's all started. The containers were in nearby town, about an hour and 20 minutes away from the beginning of the road to the property. As I mentioned earlier, there was, and there is a very bad shape road, but I still decided to try to get the trucks there. So that was the second container was loaded and go, but the first one we already sent by then, and that's what happened to it. So it's almost made it to the very end where it needs to be, but it gets stuck there. And as you can imagine, it's not a very easy task to get it out there. So of course the driver was really mad at me to get him in such a bad shape, but we still managed to unload the container nearby. As I said, it was pretty much where I want them, maybe a few hundred feet away from where I want them, but we had to bring in some of the extra equipment to that place to dig out that big truck. So the next thing, of course, the second guy did not want to go there because he was afraid that he was going to get stuck as well, and he probably would do the same thing. So we decided that the second container is going to be moved away a different way. So at the very end of drivable road, or at the very beginning, the very end of drivable road, we decided to use the bulldozer. Here in the picture, we put some logs underneath it and thought it might work. So as you can see, I'm operating the bulldozer on the video here, and it worked pretty good at the beginning. So we were able to move the container pretty easily. And the problem was that the road is about 6 miles away, so it's a long way in the old bulldozer like this. And the second problem, it has a lot of rocks. So here you can see that at the very beginning, pretty much 500 feet away from where I started, there was a river, and of course I get stuck there because the container was it still weighs quite a bit, right? It's about 4 tons, I believe. So that's where the bulldozer goes, and it could not go any further than this. So it gets stuck there. I could not do anything at that point. So here I decided that it's going to be a little different way how I'm going to move it. So of course we unchain the container. I turned the bulldozer around and basically decided to drag it behind me. So you can see here, yeah, we're completely stuck, so we cannot move, do anything with it. But as I said, that third try was pretty good. We managed to hook the chain, the container to the bulldozer like this, and it took me about a day, almost the entire day, to drive to where it needs to be, right? The problem, like as I said, the problem was that along the way there was some really big rocks, and I messed up the floor of one of the containers. But here it is, right? So after about 2 or 3 days of moving them containers here, the containers were in place. They were right where I want them, even though later on I changed my mind to where I'm going to build the barn, but it was just a few 100 feet away. So now we are going back, and unfortunately I lost the video how it gets stuck, but we still had a small container that's been dropped along the way in the summertime, and here you can see the winter we're trying to rescue it. So I found the guys who agreed to drive up into the mountains and rescue that container for me. We already kind of make this one livable. We put some window in there, a door, we insulated a little bit. But the guys who were driving in it into the because it was the same time around summertime we tried to move it, but the guys who tried to deliver it, they got stuck right at that spot, and they could not do anything else but just to unload it and leave. So I could not make them to continue to drive it up there. So these guys, on the other hand, was really cool. As you can see, the two containers still in where I left them in the summertime, and this is the third one arrived. So we moved them here, and everything was perfectly fine. So after about I want to say about 4 or 5 months, I finally get all my 3 containers where I want them. So the next video I'm gonna talk about and show you how I prepare the plot and start and finished building the barn, as well as some of the living quarters. That's what I want to turn in. I want to make one of the large containers and a small container. I want to join them together and make a little apartment. And the second container is going to be used as a workshop, basically. But with that, that was pretty much the entire process of moving them containers. What is that? Was 7 minutes, but like I said, it took me about 6 months, I think, 5 to 6 months to move them where they need to be. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Okay, so that was the first part of the video of the shipping container project. In the second part, I'm going to show you how I build the barn and how I start building the apartment by joining 2 containers, the large one and the small one in an L shape. And probably is going to be a couple more videos how it's all going to turn out to be, because it's still in the process right now. But hopefully in a few days I'll upload the video about how we prepare the plot, as well as dig the footing and everything else, install the containers, build the roof on top of it and everything else. So you're going to see all that in the second video. Now, thanks for watching. Subscribe and don't miss the second video. See you next time. Bye bye.